stock market enthusiasts, to my video. I've got a bunch of stuff to run through here. Let's start with, we've been talking about moving averages. My thoughts on moving averages are that they have magnetic attractions, and I think the 20-day and the 50-day are attracting. And if we did break the 50-day moving average, I'm looking at the 75 to 100-day standing moving averages for first support. And that's my thoughts on moving averages. So I'm not discounting a move lower, but the plot thickens. And let's go and look at my, this is my pattern worksheet. And I make these notes in Thinkorswim platform. And you can see there's a large bull flag. Get into some more of the bull flag later. This V-top with the topping tails. This all tells a story in here to me. And one of the main counter bearish arguments is this rising three method style. Now it's not textbook, and I would blend this candle, and this is just kind of sloppy, but I think it follows about the same market stop running psychology. This is a tactic smart money uses, and this daily candle here is really not much effort by the bears to bring it down more than midpoint of the previous candle. So that tells me something too. This double bottom with higher lows. Okay, also there's lower highs in this symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangle is a bullish pattern. One thing I've noticed about all these patterns is they like to do a false break out. Either up and the move ends up going down, or down and the move ends up going up. I know this sounds crazy, but I'll get into a little more of that in the bull flag. Also, I see kind of an ascending triangle here. I think that this symmetrical triangle is going to meld into an ascending triangle, and we're going to have price. I think price is going to respect this symmetrical triangle ultimately, but we'll see. Alright. Okay, before I go on to the double bottom and flag, there is something else I want to point out about a symmetrical triangle, and that is that it's like a snake coiling or the compression of a spring, where price is consolidating and it's looking for a strong move. Okay, a quick look at the double bottom. Took some measurements from the valley to the peak here, and 1674, that's the number I come up with. Okay, so last week, this is the flag I came up with, and the measurements are different in this flag. Okay, let's enlarge this a little bit. Like I said, the price actually went to find this near 1600 level right here, and now I redrew this flag and I come up with new measurements. Okay, quick rundown on the time frames. Let's take a look at the monthly chart real quick. We have some foreshadowing with this topping tail and an indecision doji. This is a bearish looking chart. Slightly. One thing of note here, this long-term trend line, I wanted to open that up in Thinkorswim so you could see how far back this long-term trend line is off of the highs, and this goes way back, and we are finding support right on the top of that. So how bearish this chart is the question. Alright, moving on to the weekly. Alright, these topping tails are foreshadowing events. We could see the downside they produced. These are lower highs. Now we have some bottom topping tails. Okay, we have an engulfing candle, but these higher lows is positive. And between these tails is my choice of where the trading range will end up. and that I'm thinking about 1620.25 to 1655.60. And so the plot thickens. And now for the daily chart, I want to open up. This is a worksheet that holy smackerel, look at all this stuff. Okay, this is something that I keep track of during the week and make notes on the Thinkorswim platform and save it. And I can easily bring this stuff up. And let's just go start off right here. This V-top, the topping tails, these are lower daily highs. So we had some clear bearish signals from these topping tails. Okay, and now these tweezer bottoms now are starting to give us an idea of a turnaround here. And for patterns, I'm looking at this large bull flag. Now it was a smaller bull flag, and like I have stated, these patterns often like to do a false breakout. In a bull trend, it'll want to break down before it goes up, and that's what it did. So I redrew this bull flag, and I'll get into a little bit of that. One of the biggest things I want to point out is this rising three method style, and it's not textbook. I would have to blend this candle over to get a 5 candle rising three method, and this is just sloppy. But I believe it's going to follow the same type of market stop running psychology. That's what the name of the game is to smart money, is they want to whip this thing and take out as many prisoners as they can. And I kind of see this ascending triangle at the top here. I think the symmetrical, longer term symmetrical triangle will merge into this ascending type of triangle, and I believe that this trend line is going to be paid respect to because of the higher lows off of this double bottom and these two tweezers. And the last Friday daily candle here, you notice it did not close below midpoint. So that's a little bit of a tell right there that the bears didn't have it in them to bring that down lower. So I'm kind of leaning to the bullish side this week. So let's move on to some SPY. Alright, wait, before SPY volume, let's take a look at some measurements I put in. This is the double bottom, and this is the measurements just real quick. And I wanted to mention about the flag. This is the original from my log, okay, of the flag, and I drew it from this point, which is right here. And let's enlarge this thing up. Okay, this flag is redrawn because we found the downside targets. Like I said, these patterns like to break down, and then the real move comes in, and that's a new measurement. So I just wanted to get the idea there before I moved on to the SPY volume. Okay, first the daily. Let's get myself out of the picture here. Again, I'm making notes in Thinkorswim as the week unfolds, and this tells me the story. You know, the same topping tails on the SPX. This was an island gap producing a down move here, and let's see, I made a note, increase of volume on this candle here. That's this bearish candle. I saw there's an increase of volume. However, we started hinting at some climaxing, and this tweezer had me a little bit bullish, but the volume was just really nothing to scream or shout about. Then we went into this island gap, and it started looking bullish, but then we have this candle whipping it back the other way. So I'm noticing some momentum change here in the bearish activity, and I also noted that the close above midpoint of the previous candle is kind of giving me a bullish argument here. Another thing I'm taking note here is the bullish candle actually had less effort to get the same result. So that's kind of telling me something else. I'm also looking at these nodes in the volume by price profile, and I'm watching these as support and resistances. And this is a 3-month point of control right here down at 1554 or 155.4 for the. And then the last thing I'm going to look at on this chart is the daily RSI neutral to negative bias. I'm getting the negative bias here, but the coiling of the spring, just like the symmetrical triangle, is showing up also in the RSI. So let's go off here now to the hourly. Hourly, I'm also seeing signs of reversal from the bearish activity. These are higher lows, and these tweezers, again, they are very good at marking out short-term bottoms. This was an interesting candle here. We had a pickup of volume telling me that this is institutional interest going on here. So that was something that caught my eye there. We have a rounding bottom, kind of a handle, but looks more like it's breaking down to me, but it could still end up turning into a nice hourly cup and handle here. It is hinting at some rounding, and you've got this tweezer, and also the divergence here is limited. I think the most likely scenario is it's going to respect this trend line. So we might see some further breakdown, but I believe there's going to be some light at the end of the tunnel here. Last thing, this is a 30-minute chart. This is 5-day point of control, right where we're at. And the biggest thing that screams out to me here is just this. Look at this, just low volume. You know, this is no conviction by the bears. I think this sounds more bullish than bearish of all the charts right here. It's just this super low volume. Okay, same kind of symmetrical type of pattern developing, and if this breaks down, I think we might see this is a longer term. If I go further back, you'll see this RSI lower trend line is not that far off. So I think the downside is limited here. Okay, well that's what I've got for a video here, and you know where to find me. You go to hotstockmarket.com, and there I am. You come and visit me in my trading log, and I'll see you there.